Monday morning sports reports brought to you by Tough Mad Refresh.
Where do you want to start with the sport? I want to start on a positive with the Gout
Mm-hmm.
on the weekend. Nick, Lachie, Mitch, Luttsy, myself in the house.
Yeah. So it was pretty incredible to be out there. Dare I say, at a Cusack? Because what happened is he runs a semi-final. He runs 20.05. So 20.05 is 1/100th of a second off his national record.
Was that in the final or the semi-final?
That was in the semi-final.
In the semi-final, he did a 20.05.
Yeah, and that is, apart from his national record, that's the second fastest time by an Australian ever. So it's the second fastest time. That was in the semi.
Because Peter Norman was 20.06, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that alone is an iconic thing to witness in person, right? And then there's 3.5 hours till the final. So myself, Gout's manager, JT.
What's his pedigree out of interest?
He's got very good pedigree in athletics. He David Radisha rather. He had the Kenyans back in the day, the Kenyan world champions. He was their agent.
Oh, really?
JT, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, huge.
Aussie?
Huge. Aussie, yeah. Great guy. Yeah, he had all the big Kenyans back in the day. He's got mad pedigree. But even within that, even David, if you're in athletics, you know that David Radisha is a big name, but Gout, you're talking other stratosphere here. It's,
Gout transcends athletics.
Yeah. So we had 3.5 hours where we go, JT, so let's go have a steak. Sunnybank Hotel. Myself, McAvaney, JT.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's Brewster.
Tim,
What a lineup.
Tim Sheridan.
Yeah.
Tim Sheridan as well.
Oh, great.
And one of the big bosses from Red Bull who are, wanting to get a piece of the Gout pie.
I've got. You showed me some audio from the press conference earlier, and there are different lines of questioning coming in, and I want your take on this because, Gout is 17 now.
Correct.
So I could see in the lines of questioning, some journos kind of treated him like he was a kid.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed
now
this.
it is a junior athletics event, fair enough, but we're also priming this guy to essentially become the new face of athletics and a possible world star.
Yeah.
How do we sit as, and we've seen it with the likes of Reece Walsh, when these 18-year-olds come into the big stage and we treat them like adults straight away, or do we allow them to be a young kid? That journalist question sat uncomfortably with
What do you mean? What were they asking?
A couple of the questions were like they were talking to a grade 4 kid. Yeah. I didn't like that at all. Because he's 7. He turns 18 on the 29th of December this year. I mean, in some respects, the media, I think there's an element of, okay, cool your jets until the kid turns 18. Even that, I don't know. Like, we've
Can't hold it back now.
We've had swimmers over the years. You can't hold back the tide.
I love Chris
Susie
Jones.
was under the pump when she was
Of course.
15.
She was, yeah.
Liesl Jones, all those kids, in inverted commas.
Oh,
we
Thorpe,
treated them like adults.
But
Thorpe was an adult.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But it's like the same token, people going like, now not to put any expectations on him. Like even the paper does not to, but we'll put him on the front page of the paper.
No,
we'll
exactly.
say,
like it's out. Like the Gout is out.
You can't put that back in the box either because the expectations are there now. Whether he wants to deal with that or not. He has to because it's a reality.
It's a reality. But there was one question, and I won't get into who it was, but it was literally something like, it's fast time, but could you have run faster? And if that was an adult athlete, that would have been, are you serious, dude? Are you serious, dude? Is that what we're doing here?
Do you think you could go
No, it's
even
all part of
That's what it was like.
Yeah.
That to me was a little bit much. No, I'm presuming that's
condescending.
That's one, yeah.
It was condescending.
It was.
The kids are fastest ever. Come on.
Is he a
We're
border?
saying kid,
Is he a
but that's
border
just an
at
old
Ipswich, by the way?
No, I think he lives out there. No, he's not a
Oh,
border.
so he's a day boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives in Ipswich.
Yeah.
Well, so you've seen a lot of athletes over the years. Like, what's it like to witness?
Yesterday was something you felt like you were
You're on like the precipice of something great, right?
The semi happened, and then to sit there and all of a sudden you're having a steak, and Bruce McAvaney is talking about the history of athletics and Marjorie Jackson, the 1950s, and some great sort of little anecdotal things around that, and then to sit there and go, okay, what's going to happen when we head back there? And we're thinking, he could run, if he gets some decent wind, he could run sub 20. And then we're thinking, we're seeing, that's history. That's history.
How much was the wind? Because in a 200, wouldn't you face it, like, depending on which way it's blown, it'd either be with you for one bit and then against you for the other?
Ideally, I guess you
come around the bend.
Sort of semi up your date when you come around the bend and then push you around the track. It was 3.6. Like plus 3.6. Oh, shit. What was it? She's got my phone. She's just seen a sexual...
Oh, no.
I'm editing your Gout video and a message popped up from your lady friend that I should have seen.
What did she say? Am I on?
Which emoji? Which emoji?
Yeah, probably don't. Yeah, probably she'll have a look at it.
Because if the answer's yes, he'll break Gout's record, Hetty.
We'll take a break. I'll see you next week. Bye. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about.
I swear I had a wind behind me. It's fine.
Yeah, no, but like it's.
Was it a noticeable wind?
It was a gust, gaily kind of 3.6. It was like all the races before were 1.2, 1.41, which is legal, and then
what?
It just got real unlucky and went. But you know what? I don't care. Like, who cares? That's an athletics thing. Who gives a rat's ass? Shove him, put a hurricane behind him. Like, let him run during the cyclone.
Yeah.
Let the kid run 18 seconds.
I mean, if depending on the rotation of the cyclone wind, had the eye of the cyclone been on Cusack, he could have been wind assisted the entire way.
Yep.
If the eye of the cyclone had been on Cusack wouldn't be there.
That's true.
That's all favour.
Would have been a double whammy.
It would have blown it into the recycling centre. Someone would have ended up with $600 for scrap aluminium.
Like, it does its job. Like, I showed my kids the run off your stories, actually, and they're like asking, well, what do you mean wind assisted? Because you put that up as a note, and I had to try and explain it to them, and they're just looking at me like I was speaking French.
Well, exactly. So I don't want people to get caught up in that, because
Yeah.
kids don't need to know that.
Because
really,
they're just excited about him anyway.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't matter.
It's the time, the
Exactly,
face, and the
Mitch.
paper, and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
We're going to be behind it, and then the other stuff can come later. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Lachie and I had a conversation about this morning about what it would be like to be one of Gout's classmates, because this is possibly, from a kid's perspective, in the social media era, you're going, I've got the next Usain Bolt sitting next to me in maths.
Yep.
I might just hitch my caravan here.
Yes. And
There's going to be a lot of hangers on here.
I haven't been out to the school, but the guys did go out to shoot the documentary. Like McAvaney went out one day, and JT's agent's been out there with him. He says they've got a really cool group of kids, but really like nice, like great kids.
Okay, good.
That's good.
Like, it's pretty impressive. We all had that little posse at school. He's got that.
I can imagine
But
though,
they're nice
like
kids apparently.
I can imagine that there'd be a teacher, like a humanities teacher, just wanting to bring him down a peg or two. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like there's characters who are like, this
come
guy,
on, buddy.
come on.
No,
Hang on.
there's always a curly-haired woman who wants to bring you down. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
that's true.
It's always a curly-haired woman who wants to do that.
Name's probably
role.
Catherine or something. I don't know.
Yeah, stop chasing your
Barbara.
dreams. That girl.
Now, I'm torn with your captions here.
Hang on. So
So-
we're posting a reel about Gout, putting Gout next to Usain
So
Bolt,
currently I've
17-year-old.
got it.
Just quickly before Nikki gives that, what was Gout's wind assisted time?
19.98.
Okay.
Yep. You got that? Yep.
And
Wow.
what was Bolt at that age?
I think the side by side I'm putting there, 17. I think that was the World Junior Championships. He ran 19.93.
9.3.
Yeah, so that's 500ths of a second.
And just real quick, that 1998
Yes.
would have got fourth place in the men's 200 final at Paris Olympics last
Oh my
year.
God.
Wow, that is
Damn.
crazy.
Oh my
Just
word.
behind Noah Lyles.
I'll tell you, this is an interesting point while we're talking about the school. So this year, all things going to plan, he'll go to the World Athletics Championships.
Yep.
Like the adult World Athletics. Like it's the Olympics and then Worlds. Yeah, that's the two big ones in athletics. He'll run the 200. He might run a relay. I think a week or two after that, he'll come back, put his Ipswich Grammar shirt on and run at GPS.
No way.
back at Cusack. Like, how cool's that going to be?
There'll be
If
some
the
kid-
year goes well for him, how cool's that
Did
going
I
to
There'll
see
be
that?
some deluded kid from Southport going, I reckon I can take it.
Did I see that we also broke a record in the 100 4x100? The men's in Sydney.
We smashed the 4x100 metre Australian record, and so we're stacked. We got all these 10.1, 10.0 runners now. Like they broke that record. They obliterated it. It was like by a quarter of a second.
Yeah, wow.
And that's like, so that beats Shervo, Patrick Johnson, all that generation. That's a new Australian record. They didn't have Gout.
Yeah.
The other Rowan Browning was up in Brisbane.
How was he?
He ran 10.12 in the final of the 100 at the Queensland State titles. So he wasn't even in that. And there's a third. There's 3 of our big guns.
Wow.
I don't know how they're going to pick that team. Like, but
Well, I'll start.
We could
Gout.
Yes.
Great pick. Great pick.
Brave.
The captain's pick from Bradley. Yeah, it's exciting. I think we're on the verge of a golden age. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
That's cool.
I'm just putting in your text.
I know we started high. We're trying to skip through the lows, or do we not go to the lows at all? Do you reckon?
Oh.
Yeah, just hijack that mic there. The Broncos on Saturday, bit
Are we going
rough.
to talk about it?
I feel like I didn't see enough of it to try and to comment on. I was in the car. I was on my way to a dinner. It took me way too long to find a car park, and I went, if I just stretch this out for another 15 minutes, just doing laps at West End Village because I had the phone, just sort of sit there on the dash, missing out on like watching us just bomb after bomb, and then we scored, I think, at what became our second last try, and there was enough time to forge a comeback, but at the same time, if you've conceded 32 points, you shouldn't be winning a game post that. 32 points should be a losing score, so they're a bit rough, the old Bronx, but maybe a good thing like that. I think they got so much hype after last week, and
A little reality check. Hat-trick to Jesse Arthurs.
Yeah.
Ash, you touted him in the preseason. We saw him in the All-Stars game as well. So if we can take some positives out of it, coming into the Cowboys on Friday night.
Mariner had good stats, sorry. Like, he ran for over 200 metres.
Yep.
Or so. Like, like if you want to talk stats, somebody that is going to be under enormous pressure to hold their position would be Gajewski. Like,
right.
Like, I can't remember his exact stats now, but like he didn't run for very much. He missed a few tackles.
We think like he's sort of got...
Piacora's like I don't know what he's done in the preseason. Obviously not much, because he started the season from the bench. But I don't know what they're going to do there.
Question: does Madge have a reputation? #Taylor Swift for pushing? This is crazy chat, but. Reece Walk's probably the worst game of his life. If he doesn't pull it up, would Madge drop one such high-profile player back to Q Cup for a week?
Oh, Reece Walsh back to
Is
Queensland Cup.
Madge Maguire that kind of coach? He's hard. He's a hard.
Yeah,
coach.
he's hard. I wonder at this stage.
He had a shocking game.
First home game. It's the Queensland derby against the Cowboys. Whether or not he might want to as a coach, and the higher ups like. Nah, do it next week, mate. Like we need it for ticket sales, Like I wonder what do we get an extra 5,000 or 6,000 coming to the game this Friday?
This will be a 45,000 job.
If we win the other day, though, like because we lost, I wonder how many sort of casuals.
It impacts it. I don't know the numbers in league, but I know. Well, I think the Reds got what they get.
They got 20,000 the other night.
That was
a
big bump.
Clash. For them, absolutely.
Biggest
Someone
super
was
rugby
telling
between
me.
the two.
Someone was telling me it goes up at roughly about 1,500. Or down 1,500, depending on whether the Reds win or lose.
Yeah,
someone
right.
told me that.
Yeah, that'll be about
someone
on the money.
from the stadium told me
Look,
that.
Queensland love a winner. That's always been the case. It's happened with the Lions. It's happened with the Roars. But 20's up. 20 was always, I think, the pass mark for a Waratahs clash. But usually that was their season opener. So to have it a couple of games down the track and to actually have them get up and show a bit of form, bouncing off that loss over in Christchurch was very needed.
But quite a good game too, like an entertaining game.
Yeah, entertaining game, high scoring. Look, New South Wales played well for 20 minutes and then just completely gave it up.
Right.
Is this match with the Cowboys? Is it Friday night?
Yep.
Thursday night. It's Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be on.
Oh yeah,
because the Cowboys are looking down the barrel of 0-3.
Have you seen their
to
next
start the
5?
season? Yeah, don't they have Penrith?
They've got so Broncos away to the Broncos, home against Canberra, away to Penrith, away to the Rabbitohs, who are undefeated at the moment, and then they're back at home against the Titans. So potentially, then they've got a bye in round 7. Like there is a chance that the Cowboys don't score 2 points until the bye in round 7. Like they've got a really rough draw.
Big fixture for them in round 7.
Well, the other side of it, Luttsy, like you say, whether Madge is one of those guys that sacks like a star player, puts him back. I don't know that he's like that type of coach, but one type of coach that he is, Gajewski's like a perfect example of this, is he rewards the players who, you don't have to be the big name to get a spot in the 17. In fact, in that year that Souths won the premiership in 2014, sorry, Dave Tyrrell, there's a name you haven't heard of in quite some while, but Dave Tyrrell, I'm pretty sure he was a starting prop in that grand final, and I'm pretty sure he played in every game for the Rabbitohs that season, and he's like a perfect example of somebody who not a big name. They had one of the Burgess brothers off the bench.
Benny Teo came off the bench in that game too.
Yeah,
so he's back working with Madsen.
So he will definitely bench a big name player. Right. And have someone in there who just does the job and has got the right work ethic and is good for the culture and all the rest of it. But one of these clubs, like Brisbane, if we win Friday night, we're going to be 2-3. Pretty good start to the season.
Yeah, take that.
If the Cowboys win, both clubs will be 1-3, or 1-2 rather, after, which is, not quite panic stations, but
it's not good.
Alarm bells.
It's alarm bells, and these would be the games that they've banked. Like they went into that game against Canberra on the weekend heavy favourites, $1.22.
Yeah. Yeah, they were huge favourites, considering, I know they had the 2 weeks off, the Raiders, but being at home, being the pack they are, being the way they played over in Las Vegas, and they were the only team that backed up their form from Vegas.
From Vegas.
Like
what about Penrith?
Oh.
Like, how could anybody have picked that?
The way that
seriously, it was $11 against like $1.03.
Yeah,
I think Penrith started.
I was here in the office laughing on Friday after the show with some people over in sales because we were talking about the AFL tipping comp we got going on, and I said I looked at who was playing Thursday night. Richmond,
Carlton.
Wow. Carlton were the same. Richmond, I think, were
$10.50.
$10.50.
Money for jam.
And I honestly thought, it's a 2-horse race. That is ridiculous. In a game of football, it's 2 teams, $10.50. I'm like, I should just throw 10 on just for a laugh. Just if I lose 10, who gives a shit? If I win a sneaky 100, this is great. Didn't think about it again, so completely forgot and was so surprised by the result. And having said that, when I'm talking to Damo over in sales and they said, what about tonight though? The Roosters are paying $11. I said, mate, I wouldn't touch the Roosters with your $10 against Penrith tonight. Absolutely no risk in what. They are going to get smashed tonight. And at least by I was going to back them to win by 20 plus. Brian or anytime try scorer. I'm like, even that would be like $1.60. It'd be nothing. And oh, incredible. Like when they were 2-3 tries up and talking to my kids, I'm like, this is what Penrith do. They'll just slowly come back. They'll win by 2 points. They don't give a shit. Roosters haven't got it in them. And it was an incredible watch. Like I tipped Penrith, and I was so happy to get that one wrong. Like the Roosters looked so happy with that win. And it was an away game for them
Penrith.
as well.
Who didn't tip Penrith?
Okay, let's have a look at our tipping comp. I think everyone had a pretty dodgy round. But because we're using the NRL tipping app, immediately...
Can you see like a percentage of the number of people?
Well, I can tell you that in the entire... Like, I'm coming 11,808, and everybody using this app. I'm on 11 tips out of 16 for the year. So I've done all right.
That's pretty good,
I did
Mitch.
7 round 1 and 4 this weekend.
I think I'm on 7 so far this year.
There are 2 people back-to-back 8 out of 8.
Wow.
And I'm like,
how?
Two people have picked back-to-back 8 out of 8, including...
I guarantee you they know nothing about footy. They're just choosing whatever they want. And that's the secret. That's always been the secret.
If you've done that and you haven't, and all you're doing is a tipping contest and aren't on Sportsbet,
you're a fool.
Which I don't know what you would have won if you would have gone back-to-back all up. Game, 16 games.
In a row.
That would be $1 million.
Yeah.
Well,
probably, right?
You think about the upsets that we had over the weekend.
Probably would be.
It would be, wouldn't it?
I think the Warriors were outsiders against Manly. Roosters outsiders, obviously,
what odds
against
were the
Penrith.
Roosters?
Canberra outside.
They were $11 by kickoff.
$11.
Yep.
$11.
So you throw one $11 hope.
But none of that. Canberra were like at $4 against Brisbane.
Yeah, $4.50.
So
I think.
you go just Canberra into the Roosters, and then you're at $44 just from two. Just from 2 games.
Exactly. So that's it's a huge payout.
Yeah.
And you still wouldn't back it.
No.
No, you wouldn't.
And they've been kissed here. The Broncos. They've got. I heard one of the stats in the commentary on Fox in the week saying they've got 10 out of their next 13 at home.
My cousin was blowing up.
I'll bet he was.
He was going off his nuts.
Rootsy.
Yeah, Rootsy was going off about that.
It'll be someone who supports a Sydney team, and they'll be like, "No, you're all in Brisbane."
I'm from Canberra.
Yeah,
so he was going.
Canberra.
Canberra's fair enough. I have mates that are from supporting Sydney clubs, and they're like, "No, you get all your games in Brisbane." I'm like, all of your away games are 4 kilometres down the road.
Exactly.
You can shut your face.
Shut your
But
face.
they've got the Cowboys this Friday, and then next Friday they've got the away game, but against the Dolphins, and then 2 back-to-back official home games. So.
This is the text message I got from Ruth.
Yeah.
Classic.
You still feel hit me.
He
Over
goes-
a horse 10 years ago.
Yeah, he goes, this is during the game. Like, I'm filthy at this point.
Yeah.
You know, and then he goes,
knows.
one message. They are in Brisbane 6 of the next 7 weeks. Then straight away. So after 9 rounds, they would have had 6 home games. Then he sends me pictures of the draw. Right?
It's always
And
important to
then
have
he goes,
evidence.
then he goes, what a joke. I haven't responded to any of this. The next one. Only leave Queensland once from June until August.
Yeah, he's a sports nerd.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, we can't help the Dolphins are in
Bloody
Brisbane.
arse.
That the
Bloody arse
Magic
reason.
round is in Brisbane. Like, I know I've got mates of mine that, we're sitting, and I go through and do the draw, and I'm like, do you want me to do the opposite? How many times you leave New South Wales, or how many times you leave Sydney?
We're across the Anzac Bridge.
Don't engage with them, mate. Don't engage with
Fools.
them.
And then, Lachie, quickly, how we looking? How the Roos looking on? They got another World Cup qualifier on Wednesday night.
World Cup qualifiers this, I think Thursday night actually, against Indonesia, and then another one against China. If we win these 2, we're in the box seat to qualify for the World Cup
this the
next year.
Socceroos?
Socceroos.
This group's a bit of a mess, though. It's only the Saudis are out on top, and then it's, 1 point...
No, sorry, Japan well out in front, so they've got a game against Saudi Arabia. If they win that, and we win our 2, then we've qualified.
Okay.
For what?
For the World Cup.
Oh, for the World Cup?
Yeah, for the World Cup next
When's
year.
What the
Yeah.
World Cup's
next year,
Yeah.
US, Mexico, Canada.
Yep.
Oh, that's big.
It feels closer because they had to...
We should go to that.
2022. Actually, no. 2022 was that long ago.
No, but because it was in Qatar, they
It was in
did
Qatar,
push it
6
back. So
months.
usually
Okay,
they have it in
Yes,
June, July,
yeah.
but because of Qatar, they pushed it back to November, December.
By the way, on that note, by the way,
Yeah.
if Sebastian Coe becomes IOC president in the next few weeks, whenever it is, which it's looking likely he could get voted in, he's saying the days of having the Summer Olympics in the summer are almost done,
Really?
just because of climate
Fair
change
enough.
and everything. Like the days of September Summer Olympics.
There you go.
No one
It
would
could be
care
in
about
March.
that, would they?
No one gives a shit, do
No.
they? I don't care.
It'd be summer somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
No matter when they have it.
Exactly.
Do you? I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
I,
right.
I guess we do call it the
good
Summer
point.
Olympics, don't we? That's
It is
part
called
of
the
this whole
Summer
branding
Olympics,
thing.
but-
But it's like
But we did that, yeah.
because they're you know
To separate that from the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
everyone knows what the Winter Olympics
Yeah.
is like.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to call it the
snow
Winter
one.
Olympics because we have it in the
Yeah,
winter
yeah.
in Australia.
Yeah.
People can work it out.
Yeah.
You know, the luge isn't at the other Olympics.
Hang
Well, it
on
would
a
be fun to
second.
see it.
We could
It's
do
on
that.
in winter time.
That would be right, actually. Mount Cootha.
Oh yeah.
And a dry run.
Summer luge.
Oh, they've got a luge in New Zealand, don't they? In one of the many cities, they've got like that.
Yeah, but that's in Queenstown.
Yeah,
mate, for kids.
Yeah. Yeah, just amp it
They
up
had
a little bit.
They had that same luge at the Coffs Harbour
Yeah.
banana place.
Just
where-
lube it up a little
Banana
bit.
World at Coffs Harbour.
I got my brother. I worked out because there was a bit of snow around one time. I was at Queenstown, and my brother was wearing a Roosters jersey going down that luge. You know,
Yeah.
my big fat brother squeezing into a luge, and I got a big snowball, and it was a perfect. I filmed it, so I try and find it. He's wearing this Roosters jersey, and I just peg it, and it smacks him straight in the face as he comes down. It was awesome.
Snowball Luge 2032.
To Roosters fans.